This moment, we're going to take our roll call of the commissioners.
Carl Granzo, present.
Randy Thomas, present.
Sarah Coates, present.
David Smith, present.
Okay, we are all here. Our next subject here, our next part here is the public comments. And may I direct to the issue that we're going to have up to 3 minutes in which to be able to voice your opinions and thoughts. Does not necessarily mean that we will address them, or we're here just to listen and give you your rights to voice what you're thinking, but there may not be or will not be any kind of comments on us, so we don't ruin or distract from your comments. So we're going to have individuals, if they have a comment, up to 3 minutes to come up to the podium and say your name and what your comment would be. So, where you live. And where you live. Yes, we don't want you to be, you can say you're in Hawaii and come here to see us. But yes, I understand.
Mr. Chair, we have Melissa Robinson with the subject of zoning.
My name is Melissa Robinson, and my husband and I are property owners at 565 Queens Avenue here in Lakeside. And I'm here today to ask the council to consider rezoning, not just for myself, but for the overall benefit of Lakeside. As you know, there are quite a few local homes used as short-term rentals around the lake and in my own neighborhood. The city of Lakeside could be missing out on economic, tourist, health, and general public benefits. Short-term rentals. As you know, transient tax in Lakeside is 7.5%, and my tiny little property alone could generate approximately $7,200 per year in tax dollars. These tax dollars can provide valuable funds for community services and infrastructure benefiting local residents and improving public amenities such as paving and painting roads and ADA sidewalks. Additionally, increased tax revenue can help alleviate many budget constraints felt by local governments, leading to better maintenance and development of public resources, library books, schools, and parks. Short-term rentals will also allow travelers to explore local lakeside neighborhoods, offering more authentic experience than typical cookie-cutter hotel motels. People will be more likely to rave about their experience in Lakeside and be more likely to return. For those with for those who are immunocompromised or undergoing extensive medical treatment or have a loved one who is, finding comfortable and affordable long-term housing near a hospital is essential. Finding a furnished place with comforts of home on the fly can be difficult, and that is why these rentals are a great option for midterm to long-term stays near medical facilities, providing comfort, home-like environment that offers reprieve from healthcare settings. These rentals can also support medical professionals by offering convenient and affordable housing solutions to traveling nurses and other medical workers. Bringing much needed talent to our area, this flexibility helps ensure that communities have access to high quality medical care that they need. These short-term rentals will provide jobs ranging from property management, cleaning, maintenance services, and these would boost the economy and provide employment opportunities that might not otherwise exist. They will also strengthen and support current local businesses such as boat rentals at the marina, local guide fishing, local markets like McKay's, Lakeside Boutiques, Spin Rail, and other local retail attractions. Those considering a due to or investment in our area can also use these rentals to experience the area firsthand before committing.
Mr. Chair, that's 3 minutes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you. What was your address again?
565 East Avenue,
505.
565.
Okay,
We have Leo with zoning.
Thank you. My name is Leo Peguero. I live 515 Park Avenue. And all I needed was some clarification, and maybe I did this wrong, but I'm trying to put a 20-foot container in my backyard. And the code doesn't say, it doesn't address, it says nothing in the front yard, it doesn't really address the backyard. So I was just wanted to clarify or get some information or get some assistance from you guys regarding, can I put a 20-foot container in my backyard?
That's information that we could pursue here in time. We talked with the manager, city manager, and we'll look at our ordinance and see what our codes can do.
Can you call me or email me?
We can find some way to do that.
Or shall I come back?
I believe Henry was working with you.
He was, and that's why he wasn't sure because of that. The code says nothing in the front yard, but it's in the backyard. There was some language.
It's up to Mr. Chair how he wants to work the agenda. It's during public comment.
I would like to have this public comment straightened on and bring it up as a subject. We probably put it on to our next meeting.
Sorry. I'm hard of hearing.
Oh, yes, and I remember you from city council as well. Information that you may have, we could put this on an agenda for next meeting in September. It's something I think would be good. I don't think you need the container right this moment, but it's something that would be a information that we might all be interested in hearing.
I would appreciate that. I'm
Okay.
a heat bird. I'm not a snowbird. I'm not getting away from the snow. I'm getting away from the heat. And
I hear you.
as soon as it starts raining here.
You need.
so
Okay,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
That's all.
Okay, as far as the public comments, thank you very much for expressing your information, and they're all vital. I would like to further look at that, and don't give up what you all were looking for, saying keep up with it. It seems to be an interesting thought. And proposal for our city. I live in King County as well. As far as the minutes, let's go back to our minutes. And if there is any situation that we have, I want to know if everybody's had time to read the minutes.
Yeah.
And we need to get an approval then, based on our minutes from June 27th. Is there a motion that we approve these minutes?
I make a motion that we approve the June 27th, 2024 Planning Commission minutes.
Second,
I'll second.
okay, then proposed and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I don't. No. Thank you. At this time, we are going to be developing a staff report. And if I may be so forward here, then Krista is that we're going to have Henry available for us. They give us some updates. And I'm ready for that. We're ready for that. Okay.
Hi, this is Henry here.
Hi, Henry. We're glad to have
Hi.
you help us out.
Oh yeah, of course. My pleasure. So the city administrator asked me to kind of write up a memo of kind of the planning inquiries that have come in the past month or so, and that was published to you in your packet. Since publishing that, I've learned some new information. The Planning Commission did take up the issue of Airbnbs or short-term rentals about a year ago. And I believe the city manager printed out that interpretation staff report for you. So that matter has been resolved unless the Planning Commission wants to take it back up. So that's the update on that one. And then I also learned today in the staff report, you'll see something about a demolition permit. A demolition permit is indicated on the city's fee schedule, but I have not seen a demolition permit or know of the process for review and approval of those. So that is something that I asked the city manager and the public works director to take a look at. It's under the public works section, so it leads me to believe that it's something to do with public works. And then I guess I have nothing else to say unless you have questions about the inquiries that have come in.
Well, the first thing that I'm very impressed with was the fact that we're, as the commission, have been able to see some of the backstory, what it takes to help issues that arise, that you're able to help us with before they become anything that's necessary for us. I think between the Krista and yourself, I'm impressed with the idea that we actually see some paperwork of some of the issues that have been brought out, and also the I'm not sure, but I think the issues that can be taken care of, whether we need to have it forwarded to us or it can be handled at the City Hall's spot.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think her idea of, a monthly report of things that have come in is good, because that way it lets the planning commission know what's happening in the city on a daily basis. Like kind of what the battle rhythm is in the city, like related to short-term rentals or commercial inquiries or people wanting to move to Lakeside. So it just gives you a good idea of what's happening day to day in Lakeside.
Got a question. Where our packet is that about the Airbnb being solidified?
It wasn't in your packet because Mr. Crouch sent it to myself and the city administrator, I think yesterday or earlier this week. So it wasn't in your packet, but I believe she was going to print it out for you tonight.
Oh, my misunderstanding. I apologize. I'm happy to forward
Oh, okay.
that.
Thank you. That'd be good.
Because we worked on it.
Yeah, it was.
About a year ago.
So,
There have
Yeah.
been a lot of inquiries for Airbnb. Yeah.
it is interesting.
And basically, what it comes down to is, and this is what the planning commission decided last year, is they're allowed in Lakeside, but they're not allowed in the general single family zone. And that's the inquiries that we've been getting for that zone.
Would there have to be, this is Randy again, would there have to be some sort of adjustment? Should that want to be that way, or is it slippery slope to be?
Yeah, no, if Lakeside wants to have a short-term rental permitted outright in the single family general zone, then I would suggest they amend their code and have that as a permitted or conditional use. I wouldn't recommend doing various singular rezones of properties. I would just make it outright permitted use in that zone if that's what the planning commission and the city want.
Mhm.
So based on the amended code that we would make, each of the people would have to come up with some sort of use permit, or not use permit, but how we would make them in order for them to.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so I mean, that's a good question. Maybe you make it conditional, which you would certainly know about because they would need a conditional use permit,
Mhm.
or you make it subject to a simple business license. That way the city has activity and of what's happening in Lakeside and how many there are, and the ability to track those transient taxes.
Can I make an input?
Yes, Carl. This is
Um,
Carl.
Last year, when we went through this, we got hung up on the fact, and a big argument with Rob about it. The fact that Airbnbs are, quote, considered commercial. And completely different than if I rented my house out, which is not commercial. And so.
Yeah, I agree with them.
That's how the problem is.
Would that fall into,
I see it that way. I see it that way too.
would that fall into amended code that we can amend that?
Well, if you wanted, so they're already permitted in anywhere in Lakeside, but for that general single family zone.
But we can amend.
So
We can amend.
Okay,
you would amend that zone and add it as a permitted or conditional use. And then the next, I mean, a step further, and this is totally up to Lakeside and the Planning Commission, is do you want to attach any rules or regulations to short-term rentals, or just let them be and operate how they operate? So that's totally up to Lakeside. Cities do regulate them and some don't. Some cities want to see more of them. Some don't want to see them take over a city because they have negative impacts and such things. But you're free to go either way on that. You can just leave them be, or you can attach kind of regulations to them. But that would require a little more work on your part to come up with those regulations, and it would be a bigger underhaul to amend the code to add a section related to that.
okay, city manager.
Henry, in that email, I think somebody quoted the current percentage we have right now is 4.9%. Airbnb?
Yeah, that was Mr. Crouch. Are you on the is that the planning commission chair? Or the mayor,
I'm sorry?
Mark Crouch?
Oh, very much so.
That email's from Mark Crouch,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
noted.
In the
Um,
email that is
yeah,
going
in
to
an
be forwarded to you, the percentage currently is 4.9%, I believe.
That's for our population.
It says 41 of 877 equals 4.7% is what I see.
0.7.
Hey, Henry, how do we, this is David Smith, Commissioner. I know last year when we were doing this, there was only 17 registered Airbnbs in the city of Lakeside itself. How would we go about making sure we can get them all registered?
Yeah, I think city staff would probably have to kind of just visit the websites where they're advertised and see if they're legitimate or not. I know the city of Bandon has to do that. They will routinely just browse online as if they were going to rent one themselves. And if they see one in Bandon, they'll make sure it's a permitted one. I think that might be the only way. Unless you know of them operating, then you could approach the property owner.
Thank you.
That is one way. However, Oregon Revenue, if they do the collecting of the TLT dollars, they will monitor also Expedia, Airbnb, and those places to see if people are complying with the regulations of the town. So if you have people that are just popping up on an Airbnb site or what have you, they will actually go after them to make sure that they are turning in their taxes and making sure they're registered properly.
Yeah, that's great. I didn't know that. So that's great.
on our amended codes that we do this, and I am for rules and regulations, just so that it keeps the honest people feel that they're doing it right. But it would help that those who do it right will be an influence on those who do it wrong. So that we can at least have some sort of way to, if we make it available for the person and we make it available so that we know where our revenue comes in, is better than having 4 or 5 our Airbnbs throughout the place that's not doing anything, just sneaking people in. I like to be the transparency of this. And if we can make that a big point, that we're not after them, we just want to make sure that they're going to give us the share. The city is in fact, the city would encourage it if there was a.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, it would be like, again, why would we put our necks off, you know? You don't want to kill the goose that lays the golden egg.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
So I think the idea, and I like this, that brought up, and that is an issue. Again, 3 or 4 years ago when I started here, we had to like stretch our thinking maybe, well, there's maybe 3, 4 people, you know. But now that we've come more and more up to date here, it's coming more and more to fruition of what people are renting out and the questions and the requests. And I think it's a good thing, and I guess we can make some sort of a pattern or some sort of an idea. I'm not sure which way to go with this.
Does the commission wish to engage in the conversation further in whatever that is? I think that would be the next step, because if you don't, there's no point in us having the conversation.
Well, I would like to revisit it.
I think we'd like to revisit it to just basically, again, revisit it to harden it to make the, since we have this better percentages and better statistics to go by, this is something that we should be able to pursue. We put this on the agenda for next September.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
and I'll just note, the planning commissioners, if you want to do, I guess, a little bit of homework in the month that you have before the next meeting. I do work with the city of Bandon, and most of the work I do with the city of Bandon is conditional use permits for short-term rentals. And they regulate them quite heavily because they have a lot of them. So if you're looking for kind of how other cities deal with it, the city of Bandon is a great example. And I can send that code to the city manager and she can distribute it to you for your review, just to give you an idea of what other cities are doing out there.
I would like one.
I think we're all gonna get
We do
one.
them all like when
I think we should all get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you have to adopt those. I'm just saying, like, here's what cities do. to
Right,
place
well, it's always good.
restrictions
to
on
compare
Airbnb.
those.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, Henry.
Anything else or? Okay, all right. Take care, guys. Good night.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Good. That was very good and very enlightening. It gives me feel a little more refreshed. I think we're gonna have a lot more happier people than people are seeing.
Yeah, which is always good.
You know, it'll help harden our community better.
Yeah.
Well, at this time, then we have a staff report. Krista, do you have something attached? Is there something you want to comment on or give us?
I don't have anything to add unless you have questions for me. It's nice to meet you all that I haven't gotten to meet yet.
You know me.
Kind of, sort of.
This is Carl.
He likes rocks.
He's a gym.
I love rocks.
doctor, And you know me enough. Randy, and this is Sarah Coates and of course, David Miller.
Lakeside Rider, David Miller,
David Smith.
Tom Miller left.
Yeah, Tom wandered off endlessly.
Isn't it amazing when I can say something, I just boot up
I
everything?
believe Tom was gonna help Leo.
Anyway, David, thank you there, Mr. Smith. Okay, actually, at this time, we have any old business in which to go over? Is there something in our past that we want to bring up that's needed
No.
to be? Okay, this is gonna be good. And then now we're gonna have our new business, and that is pertaining to an applicant for our vacant commission seat. And I think we have one person at this time wishing to join us. And I'm going to turn it over to Krista, on which Laura, are you there?
No.
Okay.
Nobody's here. No.
I thought we had Laura gonna be on,
Nope.
No,
so wow.
I'd like to remind the commission that she was removed as suit for a particular reason. Before Crouch, and that's when Mr. Crouch took over the head commissioner's seat, because she had. For seven.
I know Laura has been involved with the commission and the city for many, many, many years. And that there was an input, as we both know, and some of you all, well, you all know, maybe not so much Carl, but the personalities of everyone, where if we kind of pick on every little person, is this something major that we can overlook? Is there something that's going to cause conflict of the count of the commission?
Yes.
Is it something we can talk about? Is it?
We can talk about it.
Are we okay to talk about this? If I'm getting out of line, Krista, please let me know.
As long as we're not being personal and, you know,
No.
keeping it pretty.
I personally think she's one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. I know she has a different type of personality that she gets her things across. That's not to talk about, that's just a character.
That's a characteristic.
So what is it in the commission's goals that anybody who comes in to apply as a commissioner, what do we look for and what do we don't look for? And also do the parts of it, can they be worked with? Because not all of us are not beyond repute.
I understand.
Yes.
No, I have a couple issues with her, not from a personal level, but from a professional level. And the violations, because I'm her neighbor, of the conditional use permit over the years is one. I would think that she'd have to hold up the ordinances on her own property if she's going to ordinances for the city. And then not to mention the fact that she had to step down from the planning commission chair a few years ago. And I don't remember all the details, but I know she did step down. They were going to basically like recall her off the commission.
Well, this issue,
Following ethic.
Ethic code.
well, we
Violation.
have to watch who we throw our mud at on ethics around here.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're just
because
saying
that is something.
I'm just telling
And I
you,
also talked with Mark, the mayor, and Mark and I have had no issues We discussed the various people, and Mark has no issue that I would think of. And I'm not throwing in any information there that would conflict with us having her. Is there, what I'm looking at? Yes,
I have a question. Do we have a policy on, much like hiring, if you were to say no based off of the prior past, do we have a policy? Because we could be denying somebody their right to serve their community. And if we don't have a policy that states that you cannot be in violation of things, or if you have been removed, or if you have resigned, these things automatically disqualify you. Otherwise, it could be biased and personal, and we don't want to be in litigation with those types of things. So if there isn't a policy, that maybe you table this and discuss a policy.
Or table this until we get a few more applicants.
well, if we table this to get more applicants, that means that we're negating the person that we're looking for. We
Or
should
it'd be more
we should
fair.
have more people to look at and not do that. And I think we need to table this to the fact of what we really know and develop a form or a policy of what tolerances we do and what intolerances would be. As far as some of the reasons, and can some of the codes and the people that do things, can they, can they put themselves and actually put themselves off during the, during the meeting to certain issues. To have a perfect, first of all, we need commissioners, and it's very difficult to get volunteers.
And as I was saying, is that if there's a job description that we put out that, here's a way you can serve, we're willing to teach you, or, whatever your recommendation is to put on a job description, here's the qualities that we're looking for, that maybe some advertisement might help.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm gonna go.
We've had one of what we're looking for in the commission. And I have the paperwork, I just left it on my desk. I'll send to you. It'll be what we look for as a commissioner and what we don't, and see if that can be a basis on what we want to do. In fact, that, even if we don't do this particular one, it'd be good to base it for the people in the future here. But we want to get it done soon, but we don't want to be going.
Oregon Commissioner's Handbook is a great
Yes,
resource.
yeah.
Cool.
Yep, it is.
Well, one thing now, I like to add in here, I'm very good friends with her. I have no problem with her whatsoever. I have concerns about her. Like one of my, if she was here, I would be asking her one question, like, are you going to go move to Mexico very shortly? Because she keeps talking about moving to Mexico. The other thing would be, she's got I don't know, what is it, what do you call it, when a person's allergic to perfumes and
Smells.
and all that stuff, she can't be around a lot of people. She's gotta isolate herself.
Well, and then another big question for me is she has a Facebook group for Lakeside of over 5,000 people that she's quite vocal on local events. And I know, like, when I'm in this stuff, I try to keep as quiet as possible because I have my own Facebook pages. And so then we go into, well, I mean, misinformation and slander and things happening on the Facebook while a counselor or a commissioner or anything having to do with the city.
And that's a little bit of a trend.
Yeah.
So setting some standards like that
Like a
is
code of
that,
conduct.
is that you are a code of conduct, that you represent the city even when you're not here. Yeah.
Okay, well, then let's table this issue. We're gonna have a little more thing to do on February, or it's gonna be September 5th. These should be something that we could have ready before then. We can bring out some ideas that we can submit them to Krista and then see what issues we might have. Hello,
Really.
see what issues that we can have, and go from there.
And I'd like to see if we can maybe get out in the community and make it more local and maybe start some more candidates, just so it's a bigger pool of people to choose from. So we're not just settling on one person and then the community getting mad, well, you only take the one person that applied, blah, 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 blah.
So we can put a job announcement on the website
Yes.
and then post around town, but it would help to have that job
Yeah, I
description
think
Yeah.
that's-
along with it. To me, if you don't know what planning commission is, it might seem like, you know, something that you have to be super, super smart, and maybe that would deter people. So if there are certain qualities that you don't have to be overly educated, that you're looking for, that would probably help.
Yeah, you don't have to be smart looking.
Well, that's not what I meant at all. I just mean it can be a barrier.
Yeah, people might be turned off by thinking that they have to be all educated in zoning and things like that to apply.
Shirley, we had our, public comments already.
Often we've had
I
been
know,
able to speak.
but we'll, and we can, if it's going to be supported this issue.
Short on this topic
Okay,
and helpful.
okay, why don't you come up to the counter and we'll take this as a,
Shirley Benal, volunteer, and highly trained or read up on our charter and the rules of council that specifically list how the position must be posted and how long it has to be posted for. And then the requirements of the applicants and then the interviews. And I just want to be sure for our ethics watchers in that we all get well versed in the charter and read what the charter says on how to post the open positions, because as far as I know from watching these very closely for 4 years, this position wasn't posted even yet. And if it was, even those of us that search the website daily for new info haven't seen it posted. Otherwise, that would have been shared a lot. And so let's start with that, looking at the charter maybe and going for there on how to get the applicants, and so that we do it right and don't get into any problem.
point taken.
Thank you.
You sure?
Thank you.
Hello, anyway.
No,
feel better.
she's gonna run away. We scared her.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Our charter is very, it's not a long thing that we got. Charter is easy to look at, and I've read it many times. Sometimes, like, unfortunately, I fell asleep at one time, going backwards, see if I knew it. And at the same token, we have a very good charter.
Yeah.
And if we need to do a little bit of editing and change more modern words from past words to later words, it's good.
Being that it's a vacancy, it's been a vacancy. It's not that you were advertising. It's been open for some time.
Long time.
Right.
Yeah.
And so-
But there, I don't, thank you, Chris, because I was going to say it. But yes, are we in the gray area? Or are we just, basically, we're not,
I disagree with the fact that it's been open for a long time because Mary's been gone, but anytime you ask the question is, we'll talk about it next time, or we'll talk about it later on. Nothing ever came through us that said she was resigning.
Yeah, I didn't know about it either until.
And if she was coming back. And even through the last, that Rick was here, nothing, kind of said, well, what are we doing?
so you feel you're under the belief that we should advertise this position? And give it till,
You have to give it the amount of time that the charter says.
then what does the charter say?
Well,
I mean, how,
ask for a charter for us.
Is that elected officials or is that employment
That's
or?
for,
I think he's a volunteer position.
for the volunteers position.
I have to read it, because I didn't see that, David.
You have the charter? Mine's in my office.
First you would.
It's always been posted before.
Yeah,
So has she formally resigned?
I don't know.
we don't know.
Well, then it seems like,
I think the only one that knows is Rick.
No, she
Not
resigned.
If it was anything, it was with Rick.
She resigned, Randy? You're
Yes.
saying? Okay, so she did officially resign. And
She
this is,
resigned.
this is what the second meeting Because she was brought on the same time I was brought on. So I think this is the second meeting without her.
It's in one of the others.
Oh, okay, so I apologize. I was under the assumption that it had been open for some time.
I think the position me and Mary filled were open for a long time, and then Mary came to one meeting, and then she didn't show
Was
back
that
up.
meeting, was that also, openings, were those advertised?
I believe so, but there,
See, I'm just thinking, I want to be consistent with.
but the thing with here in town is you have to put the word out everywhere. And just posting it on bulletin boards really doesn't do much. You really gotta get on social media. And if you don't want people to forget, you gotta post it like weekly. Keep popping it back up, because I deal with social media all the time with my business. And you gotta keep it all fresh at the top of the pages, so people every time they open up the pages, see pending
You
openings.
see, all of these, no, Sarah, everything takes something away from something.
Yeah.
If you spend time doing this, then the issues that are important get pushed back, and then meaning it gets watered down. So either we say for till next week, or for next 30 days, or whatever it is, we gotta get it, we need to get a commissioner. We do have a little time, because we still have 4, and until things change. But let's make it a point where we get this down and put it in some sort of an amendment, whatever, to make sure that this is what we do, cut and dry, so that the next person can see it, and the next commission base can know what it is.
So would you like me to put out a job announcement?
Yes,
And I think that this is something we could probably settle at the next meeting. I think 30 days is plenty of time to try to see if we can't get more applicants. I just think it wouldn't be fair, because I've dealt with this stuff before. If you have one person that's applying and you appoint that one person, because there's only one, somebody somewhere is gonna lose their mind.
I didn't know about that.
the issue
Yes.
that I like about, one of the biggest things that we do as a commission, we need to look for people who are going to say what they mean what they say, and be here at the
I
time that they
agree.
say they are. When they're not, and they leave us up like this, it is just as much our waste of time as when we come in without being announced into the city hall to talk to them, and they got so many things going on. So it's something that we need to be professional with.
Yeah. I
That we
think
follow the rules, and that we don't become,
I'm not
and
gonna
that
come
we
every
don't
day.
become, we don't overwhelm our staff, our city staff.
Yes, I agree.
That we make appointments, that we follow all of the things that you would, like the big boys.
And that-
I would love to see that, and I think the city government would like to see that too.
And I do think no matter, even if she is the only applicant, I still would like to do an interview and get answers to questions.
The interview would have been fine.
Yeah,
This is the time to interview.
but she's not here.
She's not here. She knew she was gonna be here. So again, that concerns me just as a person. I've hired and fired many people in my life, and some of you have too. And it's those who stick with it, you're the ones you keep.
Was she told to be here tonight?
Yeah. Yeah, I called her,
And I'm sure this is.
I talked with her, and made all the necessary thoughts. But
So my question then is, if you called her and told her because she was an applicant for this
Right.
vacant spot and she showed up. That just goes to show me that it can't be relied on.
unfortunately, I have to agree with you.
But we might get into a position where she ends up being the only person and we have to re-invite her for an interview in the one with interest. But
But
would
you, we had to get you, we had no choice.
and me, she was stuck, they were stuck with me as default candidate, so. But it would have been nice though if she was here and we were able to proceed, if we were able to ask her questions about the certain things we have our concerns over.
I would like to have had you two, but I know you two had issues. I'd like to air it out. But until then, we can go on and on and on. Let's leave it as such and
think
pursue for the
30
next
days.
30 days onto our. And in the meantime, each one of us should at least be responsible to finding one person. I don't know.
I'll bring him too.
And do we have an existing job description?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I'm gonna look at a job description that I used when they hired me.
That'd be helpful.
And you can apply that, see if that's any, that's,
and if we have that, I will post that with the announcement. Is that
Yeah.
the consensus?
well, I'll give it to you, you can edit it to whatever you think it. Just take,
I don't want to put out a job description you haven't approved.
yes,
But you can email it to us, we can look at it and approve it through email and be able to delay it, do we?
No, nope.
No?
Three.
Well, could we do a special meeting for approve it, a workshop or something to approve it? In a good amount of time?
In the announcement, I can just put the type of, the characteristics that you're looking for. And here's the current job description, and then going forward, you guys can, maybe do a workshop and, clean up some of your policies, your hiring, what it is that you're
And we can do
looking.
that at a later date, still to
Yeah.
have you be able to post something.
Yeah.
I think we're okay with that.
I am.
Just get something on
Yeah,
paper out in the public.
And again, we don't have to turn it into a requirement or we can turn it into this is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
If you fit this and you want to join, please.
Make it flashing, attention grabbing, not just, I think, city letterhead, like,
Yeah.
Uncle Sam fingers or something. Are you good at clip art?
No, no, are you? Okay. And so are we looking to younger folks, for resume type builder type?
I don't think age matters.
No,
I mean, I'm way younger than some of these guys, and I think we work really well together. Am I wrong?
I feel I'm younger than
I'm 84. Well, I'm 83 right now, next month.
I was off by 10 years.
Now, see, I'm 42. I'm pretty young,
Uh-huh.
and we seem to work pretty well together, but I've known these guys for. But I think in a community this size, most of us are gonna know anybody that applies. One of us at least would,
Well,
So I
Okay,
don't think that
well,
matters, the age. I don't think gender matters. I mean,
well, no, I just mean, are we trying to maybe, it can be a good resume builder.
it could be.
For those people that are needing to boost their
And you
resume.
can put that on there or put,
Yeah.
good hobby for the retired or something.
Yeah. People that, you don't know how many, some of these people have meet at various places that are like retired deans of
Yeah.
this or
Surprise.
scientists or neurosurgeons or
Police officers.
Steward.
We're facetors.
Yeah,
But we also need to make sure that they are aware that it doesn't matter if you work at McDonald's or work at the college. We just want anybody's,
we want, yes,
any opinion.
that's how you work it. Okay, so we got that chopped down. Does the staff, as far as any new business, the applicant unfortunately didn't do it, and we're gonna, again, go for the next, all right. So we okay with that, everybody?
Yeah, and I don't think she should have to reapply. I think we can just invite her back.
Oh, good.
After 30 days, yeah,
Okay.
you think?
Yep.
And see if she's ready to come in and talk to us
Yes.
at that point.
See, she's right here. She's been a planning commissioner for 6 years, 9 months.
She was for a long time.
And I remember working under her as a juvenile or a junior. A juvenile. Yeah, that's what it was. A junior commissioner, and learned a lot from her and the group that was there at the time.
She was the chair for a while.
Yes, he was the chair for a while. He was the chair for us, yeah. Her and several others. Okay, so now let's get down to the number 9, unless there's something else. Nope. Staff and commission comments. Now, if we make these comments and we make these things, let's try to relate to the current issues, if there is anything that's going to be cooperative. All right, so staff,
I don't have anything.
okay, so commission comments.
I'll go first since I'm leaving. Thank you, everyone who was on Zoom and the few people that showed up, and thanks to I think her name was Melissa, for her public comment. And we need more people here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sarah,
I mostly have a question, and actually, I don't know if you could even help me on this one. They're hauling a large amount of rock to Second Street. Like 50, 60 yards of rock a day for weeks. And I thought that was a no build, like 120-day only flood area. And it appears that on Second Street.
It is.
And I don't know if it's North Second or South Second, but because I've been working on 4th Street and I watch these dump trucks all day long, but
Is it gravel or rock?
it's crushed like 3/4 inch, 1.5 inch rock by large quantities. And I was doing some research and I can't figure out if they have the proper paperwork in place. And then once I talked to PUD, they informed me that they have been asked to move the power pole for their development, but they don't have any permits on file by the city either. So I just want to know if you could look into it. I don't want to harass people if they have the proper paperwork, because I'm pretty sure, because I just went to the floodway on 4th Street. It's a lot of paperwork and a lot of permits to be able to build in a floodplain. And I want to harass somebody if they have it, but I've been looking and I can't find anything filed with the county, the city. But we've switched city managers so much, it's possible it could have just been shuffled around. And so I think that's something that we should look into, because it is a floodplain.
Yeah.
That's it, it's just.
My comment is quickly that I'm very thankful for each and every one of us who's been here. Our new city manager and for Sean's wonderful help to keep this place going during the time when it seemed like it was not going. I want to thank you for your forwardness of this. And I hope that we can earn it by being respectful and looking out for the importance of how they are and to respect them for what they do. And to also understand that they have to make decisions that we may not like, we may not agree with, but as a team, that's what happens with teams. And I'm glad that that can be something that I'm looking forward to that. Thank you.
Ditto everything, except that I'd like to say thank you for this report. Of the past 30 days of what, I think we've never had that before, and to me, it's great.
Nice.
I think, hopefully you keep it up and keep doing it.
Yeah, I like it too. It's awesome. Council gets something similar and it's nice for the planning commission to be able to see all the permits and inquiries.
Yes, it keeps.
I think
keeps
so.
moving, so.
It's helpful.
Okay. Well, I move that we adjourn this meeting. I want to get to move anything other than just ourselves. But our next meeting is on the September the 5th. And it says, oh. that's what we do.
Before you adjourn, I'm sorry,
Okay.
the notice issue with the ordinance, it will be on the next regularly scheduled
Oh,
meeting, not a special meeting, because of the 20 days and how the publishing went. But it will be on the next regular meeting.
and so just to cap for my own brain, this is concerning issue we had because we couldn't do things through the council. They reminded us of the advertisement of the public hearing issue.
The public hearing issue, yeah.
Okay, good. I would love to have us get something done and put away so we can build something else.
I think we have some ideas. Things that we
Yes,
should
we
be
did.
working on.
Thank you, everyone.
Want to sign a gavel?
6:49.
Oh, solid. Thanks.
So thank you, Carl.
Oh, you're fine. Okay, I got it. Good work, David. Don't run people